My name is Brenda Perry, and I'm doing the Master's in International Counseling Psychology here in Mexico City. And I will show reflection and heightening in this EFT role play. So here we go. Hi guys, how are you today?
Hi. Okay.
How have you been since last week? Last week was our first session, so we got to know each other a little bit better, and I could hear some of your, concerns and why you're here. And how have you been? How do you feel since last week?
It's been hard.
Mm-hmm. How has it been hard?
It's hard to talk about. I don't know, like, he's supposed to be leaving for a job, and, like, I just keep thinking that the date's approaching, and even though it's a couple months away, and he hasn't made a decision yet, like, every day I just keep thinking about that, and I can't get it out of my head. It's hard.
So what I'm hearing is that you're feeling upset and sad that he's choosing to leave you for another job and potentially live apart from his family. Is that right?
Yeah, I feel sad and upset. It's like it's a combination, like it's like frustration. I cry, I yell. I don't know how to really express it.
And how have you been, Tom? How does it feel for you to hear her expressing that sadness that she feels?
Well, I haven't seen that sadness really up until now. It's been more anger. And she told me I could leave. So I can leave if she told me. So I'm just.
Well, I can't control him. I mean, he's gonna leave if he wants to leave.
And how did it feel, Tom, when she told you that you could leave?
I think confusing. I think I want to leave. I think it's the good thing for our family, and we need it. I don't know. Maybe it's good for us too. Like, I don't know.
So you don't care?
I want out a little.
You want out of your family, or you want out of the situation?
This frustration, this constant fighting, her yelling at me.
And when she yells at you, like at that moment, what do you feel? What goes? How does it feel?
Anger too. It's like she starts yelling at me, and I begin to get furious too. Like I stop hearing.
He gets mad and he leaves.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm tired of this.
So it sounds like you also reach a point where, you get upset and sad too, and that anger comes through, and you want to share that with her as well.
But I can't share that with her.
Because he leaves.
So I'm hearing that you say that he leaves, and
he literally leaves the house.
That was just last week.
Yeah, and the week before.
How do those discussions or those fights start? Can you give me an example? Maybe the latest one last week when Tom left. How did that start?
Well, before he left, I guess I was feeling sad. So I was like, well, I'm going to talk to my husband about that. And I went up to him and I started telling him, like, I'm feeling sad and it's because you're going to be leaving and I know you're going to leave. And even though you can leave, I think maybe I didn't tell him, but like I don't want him to leave.
Mm-hmm. So it's again this sadness and this feeling of maybe it's lack of control, like you don't have a say in.
Yeah, I don't feel like I don't have a say. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to talk, and he just started getting angry, saying, "Oh, you're always complaining, like I'm doing this for the family." Mm-hmm. But he's not, like if he was doing it for his family, like he wouldn't even considered getting a job somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But he said, I'm doing it for the family, and he just gets upset and he leaves.
Mm-hmm. And what did you feel at that moment before you told him?
I lost it. Mm-hmm. Oh, before I told him?
Before you lost it. Just how did you feel? What was that emotion that got you to start to go off on him?
I felt like I have no say, and he doesn't care if I feel sad.
So, frustration.
And I need him.
Mm-hmm. So could you say it was a frustration, like an intense fear of losing him?
I think deep down inside, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell him that?
Mm-hmm. My lip trembles.
So saying that your lip trembles, that's a deep emotion that shows that you're feeling something really intense right now. Can you?
I feel like crying.
Mm-hmm. Can you try to share that emotion with him?
I think I'm scared. I do have a fear that you're gonna go to work somewhere else and you're not gonna come back.
Mm-hmm. So it's fear. A lot of what you feel right now is fear. Fear of losing him?
I never thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I was just always angry.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Tom? What do you feel when she went off on you?
Well, I didn't notice the sadness, I guess. I just noted the anger, as she just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing of sadness, like I didn't see that in her, and definitely not fear. It almost seemed like you didn't need me, like I could just go off. You even told me, like, yeah.
I was mad. I don't have a say anyways. You're gonna do whatever you want anyways.
You told me that, so I thought that you were telling me to leave.
So then he leaves the house at like 8 p.m. and he comes back at like 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to talk to me, but then I'm already even more pissed off.
Mm-hmm. And Tom, what did it feel for you when she said that you could leave?
In the beginning, I might use the word like liberating,
mm-hmm.
because it's been tough recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been a walk in the park, and
not a walk in the park. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did you imagine it was going to be? Like if it's not a walk in the park, what would you? It's not a walk in the park. Could you describe something what you expected,
how I envisioned it to be? More like a tug and pull.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would pull and she would tug, and we would kind of work at this together. Not just
what's working at it together.
I don't know. I didn't see us yelling as much or being at our throats. And yeah, I leave. I find it easier to leave than to show you that I'm scared too of leaving. But
you're scared too.
Mm-hmm. It's scary. Like I need to be the man of the house, and I need to provide for the family, and I need all these things that have been established. But I'm scared too.
Mm-hmm. Your fear. So how does it feel, Melissa, to hear that? I mean, Melissa, to hear that.
I didn't know you were scared.
Mm-hmm. So I hear fear from both of you.
Yeah.
Like a fear of you, Melissa, of losing him. And I guess you too, Tom. Like you have a fear of losing your family too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But what about your son? Like, if you do leave,
I'm scared, but I'm leaving to provide for him. I'm leaving for you too. Like
You aren't providing now.
barely, not how we planned. Like it's been tough on us. We can't. It was his birthday, and we weren't even able to like provide anything, and it's been hard.
It's like this frustration and sadness of not being able to give your family what you think they deserve. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, like a sadness. It's more. It's not a frustration. It's more the sadness of not being the person that I wanted to be.
Not being the person that you wanted to be. Do you feel? Did you know this, Melissa? Did you ever?
Well, like with the birthday party thing, like we had agreed, like, okay, like we don't have a lot of money right now. Let's just do something small. But he's always been so ambitious, and you know, even before we got married, like I always want to give you the best, but it's never enough.
It's not enough. So I'm hearing that you don't need as much.
No,
Right,
I
like
need
the
him.
birthday
I physically want him with me.
I didn't know that. I don't think I've ever heard you say that, and it's nice to hear you say that.
What did you think she wanted? What do you think was her reason for wanting you to stay and not go work in a different city?
I don't know. It's just been comfortable, or
You think she wanted comfort? Is that all?
I don't know. I guess I never thought that she needed me that way and wanted me.
And how does it feel to hear that? That you're needed, that she needs you physically to be with her.
Good. Like I said, it's been a while since I've heard that. Like having a child was a lot more difficult than we both expected, and we talked about that, and so it's nice to hear that she needs me. It's good.
Do you need her?
Yeah, I do, and I think that's where I get scared of leaving, because it's the thought of being away from her and from my son.
So it's this fear of leaving your family, and you, Melissa, of
Losing my husband.
losing your husband, but because you both really need each other and you need to be with each other.
I think like we've been so focused just on our child that we forgot about us. And now anytime it's us, we just fight.
So it's a sense of loss too. It's a sadness again.
Yes, loss.
And this loss of what you used to have, maybe. Is that right?
Then what about 2 weeks ago when you left? Okay,
I mean,
it was something different.
It was a similar situation. I was washing the dishes, and you came in and you yelled at me again. And so yeah, I left that time too, because it's easier to leave. It's easier to leave than to talk to you.
It's easier to leave than to face that fear and that sadness that you see in each other.
Yeah.
I try, but he always just leaves.
It's hard, no? To watch him leave every time, and you were trying so hard to make him stay. And to hold him back.
Because then our son also like, oh, where's daddy? Where's daddy? What do I say? So then if you were to leave like for work, and he was always asking like, where's daddy? Then what do I say? I don't think you care about.
He asks that?
Yeah.
You're surprised that your son asks about you?
Yeah, I just, like I said, I kind of felt that they didn't need me. And so,
We both need me.
Yeah.
Can you say that again? Can you look at him and tell him that you need him and that your son needs him, that his family needs him to stay?
We both need you.
How does it feel to hear that they need you?
Good.
Feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make some of that fear and sadness go away a little bit?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it does a little, but it's still scary to think of me to stay and not leave.
Oh, it's scary.
That's scary.
Why is it scary? Why is staying scary when your family needs you?
I don't know. It's scary to open up and talk about these things. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to leave and to think that you don't need me. It's harder when I have to be there and discussing these things.
I didn't know it was so hard for you.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel a little less sad knowing that it's hard for him to stay?
I guess I can understand why he leaves, but I would like it not to be hard for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really care about him. I really do need him. His son needs him.
Mm-hmm.
And I need him.
Could we say that you want out of anything, and in spite of the money or the finances or what you can and cannot provide for your son, you just want your family to stay together and you want your husband to be present and you don't want him to go away and miss important things maybe in your son's life?
I don't want to miss those things either. I want to be there. But I need to know that there's not going to be more yelling and anger.
What can I do when we talk so you don't leave?
I don't know, showing me that sadness, showing me that feeling that it's not just that I'm a bad person or that I'm a bad father or a bad husband, that you're yelling at me and there's this anger. Because that's all I see right now.
Well, so would you be able to show him that sadness instead of that anger?
I think the anger is sadness, and I didn't realize it before.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was my way of not feeling so sad, and I was like blaming him, and because of you, so I would get really angry.
Protecting yourself.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you, Tom, were also protecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were protecting how you stop that sadness from getting worse.
Yeah.
I think, like, I don't know. I guess I haven't felt so vulnerable before. We didn't really talk about feelings. It was just yelling, and then I would cry. I was crying because I was angry.
Mm-hmm. So you feel vulnerable deep down.
Yeah. Like, I think since I can remember, like, it's always been hard for me to share if I feel something. Because I'm supposed to be strong. I guess I felt out of control. I was always so strong, and I always felt so in control, and when he told me that he might be leaving, I lost it. I didn't feel that control anymore.
So this lack of control, does it seem to get like worse and worse and worse every time that, the sooner the date comes and the closer it gets?
I think our arguments have gotten worse too.
Yeah.
So how would you describe that lack of control? If you could paint a picture of it, what would it look like? You could paint yourself.
Like a storm.
Like a storm. How does it look to you, Tom? Do you feel lack of control?
No. And definitely didn't know it was that lack of control.
Mhm.
I still thought she was in control because she told me that I could leave.
Mhm. But I'm hearing that she isn't, because you leave, and it's your decision to leave, even though she told you could.
Yeah.
Because I can't control whether you leave or not. Even if I say no, like, you're probably still gonna leave.
Yeah.
It's like you're reaching out to him, and you can't reach him. It's like he's already gone. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So about that storm. Does that storm happen right before he leaves, when you start the argument? Is that how it looks like?
I think like the storm starts, but it gets worse.
Yeah.
When he leaves, everything, like, I lose it.
Mm-hmm. Is there ever a calm before the storm or after? Like right before everything explodes, is there?
I think, like, after, because I know he does love me and he comes back and
I apologize.
and like at that moment I feel needed. I feel wanted by him.
Mm-hmm. You get that.
And so we don't talk about it. He just comes back and we act like everything's okay. But then when I try to talk about it again, like that's when it gets worse.
And how does it feel when you come back, Tom?
Like I messed up a bit.
Like you messed up.
Like I need to make it right.
It's like you hurt her. Do you feel?
Yeah.
You hurt her.
And it hurts me to hurt her.
You also feel hurt.
You always seem like everything's okay.
You feel like he doesn't love you enough? Is that how it feels when he leaves?
When he leaves, I feel like he doesn't love me. Then he comes back and he's very loving and apologizes. And at that moment, I feel good. I feel loved and wanted. But it's temporary. And so then I start thinking, like, well, if he were to leave, like, I wouldn't have that physical need, like that touch.
You need to feel him close to you. How does it feel, Tom, to hear that she needs to feel you, to feel your body close to her?
I'd never heard you say that before. It's been a long time since you've said that.
Sometimes I just need like a hug and everything's okay.
I need that hug and that feeling that he's here to stay. So I'm hearing hurt, I'm hearing fear, and I'm feeling, so I'm hearing a lot of hurt and fear and sadness, like a deep sadness from both of you. And it seems like you hadn't realized that you both had the same emotions and you both fear the same thing, which is losing each other. Is that right? So how do you feel now, knowing that the other is scared and is sad and is does not want to lose you? How does it feel now, knowing that?
Better. I didn't know that, like, she yells at me so much that I forget that she needs me. And her telling me now, after so long, it's better. It gives me hope that I don't know, maybe I'll feel a little bit like not leaving so often. Because I know that she needs me.
What about you, Melissa? How does it feel knowing that he doesn't leave because he didn't care?
Yeah, I guess I didn't know that he was also sad and was scared of certain things. And I didn't realize that I was sad.
Mm-hmm.
I was just angry.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just inside, like, all this anger, but I think I'm just really sad, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I realized that it was because I really do need him.
Need him close to you. Mm-hmm.
And I think now, like, when I do start feeling this anger, like, really thinking before I yell, because I do yell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really trying to talk to him and tell him how I feel
Mm-hmm.
versus
Before
yelling.
that feeling of
Mm-hmm.
anger comes out and you can't control it and the storm happens.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in the end, you both don't want to lose each other, and that's what matters. That you still love each other and you want to be a family and stay a family, and not be away from each other, not be physically away from each other, because you still need each other. You still need each other's bodies close to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So our time is up. Next session, I'd like to keep talking about these feelings that are the same for both of you, and I'd like to talk about the future and the future of your relationship. And I want you to get what you want, both of you, which is stay together, but be okay together, and learn how to express how you really feel before the storm happens, and before you feel the need to escape, and before it just spirals out of control and you're both lost, grasping for each other. I don't want you to lose each other, and I want you to always feel like you can hold on to the other. Okay, so I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.